Did you know that Clark Gable, the King of Hollywood, fathered a secret child with actress Loretta Young, hidden from the world for years? From Marilyn Monroe's hidden love for literature to James Dean's haunting final message. Here are the 25 things we learned about Golden Age actors who passed away. 1. Clark Gable's shadowed legacy. The King of Hollywood was a man of charm, talent, and secrets. Among these secrets was a child he fathered, a daughter named Judy Lewis, born out of a discreet relationship with actress Loretta Young. Due to the rigid moral codes of the time, the truth was buried under layers of lies. Young masked her pregnancy, claiming Judy was adopted, while Gable, bound by reputation, never acknowledged her. It wasn't until years later, through Judy's memoir, that the full story surfaced, unravelling the web of Hollywood's concealed truths. This revelation begged the question, what other hidden lives lie behind the silver screen? Clark Gable's story reflected the strict societal expectations placed upon stars of the Golden Age. Many leading men and women lived double lives to maintain an image of perfection. While Gable's career thrived, his personal decisions shaped a more complicated legacy. His story, like many of his contemporaries, is a glimpse into the sacrifices made for fame. Did these choices define the man or the image Hollywood demanded? 2. Marilyn Monroe's quiet depths. The world knew Marilyn Monroe for her captivating beauty and on-screen allure, but behind the glamour was a woman with a hunger for knowledge. Monroe owned more than 400 books, delving into works by literary giants like James Joyce and Leo Tolstoy. Her quiet moments were often spent studying literature, even taking classes at UCLA to better herself. This intellectual pursuit revealed a side of Monroe that the world rarely saw, a mind that sought meaning beyond the lights of Hollywood. Could this yearning for deeper understanding have been her way of escaping the shallow world she inhabited? Marilyn's intellectual endeavours were far removed from the blonde bombshell persona the media amplified. Critics and fans alike underestimated her depth, reducing her to a stereotype. Her personal library, filled with diverse authors and genres, reflected a woman searching for substance in a world that valued image above all. How much of Marilyn Monroe's true self did the world fail to recognise? 3. James Dean's final warning. James Dean's life burned brightly but briefly. Just days before his untimely death at the age of 24, he recorded a chilling public service announcement. In it, he urged drivers to be cautious, saying, "The life you save might be mine." The eerie premonition became tragically true when he lost his life in a car crash shortly afterward. His words, frozen in time, left a haunting reminder of the fragility of life. Was this just coincidence, or did Dean somehow sense the fate awaiting him? Dean's death immortalised him as a cultural icon, but his life hinted at unfulfilled potential. Known for his rebellious roles and intensity, he symbolised a generation's yearning for individuality. Yet the circumstances of his passing left many to wonder about his path had he lived longer. Could James Dean have transformed Hollywood further, or was his impact destined to be brief but unforgettable? 4. Audrey Hepburn's secret courage. During World War II, Audrey Hepburn was far more than a graceful dancer and aspiring actress. As a young girl in Nazi-occupied Netherlands, she risked her life to aid the Dutch resistance. She carried messages hidden in her shoes and performed secret ballet shows to raise money for the cause. Her bravery during those dark times stood in stark contrast to the delicate beauty Hollywood later celebrated. How many more stories of quiet heroism did she take to her grave? Audrey's wartime contributions demonstrated her resilience and strength in the face of unimaginable danger. Despite hunger and fear, she found ways to resist oppression. Later, her roles in films showcased a similar grace under pressure, perhaps drawing from her own experiences. Did Hepburn's courage shape her iconic poise, making her a symbol of both elegance and quiet defiance? 5. Humphrey Bogart's unmistakable voice. Humphrey Bogart's rugged demeanour and tough guy persona defined an era of cinema. Yet it was his voice, marked by a faint lisp, that truly set him apart. This quirk, which some attributed to a childhood injury, could have been a flaw in another's career. Instead, it became a hallmark of his performances, adding depth to his characters and making him unforgettable. Was it fate or resilience that turned imperfection into an icon's signature? Bogart's voice, paired with his distinctive delivery, gave his performances a unique edge. Critics often praised his ability to convey vulnerability beneath a tough exterior. The lisp, far from a hindrance, became part of his charm. Would Bogart have achieved the same legendary status without this signature trait? 6. Bette Davis versus Joan Crawford. The feud between Bette Davis and Joan Crawford was the stuff of Hollywood legend. Their rivalry, laced with biting insults and dramatic clashes, came to a head during the filming of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Tensions escalated to physical altercations, with Davis reportedly injuring Crawford during a scene. The animosity between the two remains one of the most talked about rivalries in cinema history. Did their hatred fuel their art, or was it all an act? Davis and Crawford's conflict was emblematic of the pressures women faced in an industry driven by competition. Both actresses fought for recognition in a world that often pitted them against each other. Their performances in Baby Jane were electrifying, perhaps fueled by genuine disdain. How much of their feud was real, and how much was a reflection of Hollywood's demands? 7. Cary Grant's reinvention. Cary Grant wasn't always the suave figure audiences adored. Born Archibald Leach, he came from humble beginnings and reinvented himself to fit Hollywood's ideals. His new name, chosen carefully, carried an air of sophistication that matched his on-screen persona. The transformation was so complete that few ever thought of him as anyone other than Cary Grant. Was this reinvention a necessity for success, or did it hide the man he truly was? Grant's journey from struggling performer to international star was marked by calculated decisions. Changing his name was just the beginning of his transformation. Over time, he embodied the charm and elegance audiences expected, though traces of his earlier life lingered. Did Archibald Leach disappear entirely, or did he live on behind the polished exterior of Cary Grant? 8. Rita Hayworth's transformation. Rita Hayworth was a symbol of glamour, but her rise came at a cost. Born Margarita Carmen Cancino, she underwent painful electrolysis to alter her hairline and dyed her hair a striking red to fit Hollywood's image of beauty. These changes were designed to appeal to a broader audience, erasing traces of her ethnic heritage. Behind the glamour lay a woman reshaped by the industry. What did this transformation take away from her true self? Hayworth's reinvention as a Hollywood star was both a triumph and a tragedy. Her success came at the price of cultural erasure, a common demand for stars of the era. Though adored by millions, she often spoke of feeling trapped by her image. Did Rita Hayworth ever reconcile the woman she was with, the star Hollywood created? 9. Charlie Chaplin's forced exile. Charlie Chaplin, the silent film genius, found himself silenced in real life. Accused of being a communist during the Red Scare, he faced scrutiny and suspicion. In 1952, while travelling to England, his re-entry permit to the United States was revoked, forcing him to settle in Switzerland. This exile marked a dark chapter in his life, where politics overshadowed art. How did the world's laughter turn into silence so quickly? Chaplin's exile highlighted the precarious balance between fame and vulnerability. Despite his global popularity, he became a target of political paranoia. His later works reflected a deeper cynicism, perhaps shaped by this betrayal. Could Chaplin's genius have thrived further without the weight of exile? 10. Ingrid Bergman's scandal. Ingrid Bergman's luminous career dimmed under the weight of scandal. Her affair with director Roberto Rossellini, while she was still married, caused an uproar that reached the US Senate. The backlash was swift and severe, leading to her virtual exile from Hollywood. For years, she worked abroad, shunned by the industry that once adored her. Was her talent enough to outshine the shadows of controversy? Bergman's fall from grace was as dramatic as her rise to stardom. Despite the scandal, she continued to deliver powerful performances, earning critical acclaim overseas. Her eventual return to Hollywood marked a triumph over adversity. Did Ingrid Bergman's resilience redefine her legacy, proving talent could transcend scandal? 11. Marlon Brando's bold stand. Marlon Brando wasn't just an acting legend. He was a man of conviction. His activism for civil rights and Native American causes set him apart in an industry often silent on such issues. In 1973, he famously declined the Oscar for The Godfather, sending Sachin Littlefeather to refuse the award as a protest against Hollywood's portrayal of Native Americans. This act of defiance cemented his legacy as more than just a performer. Did Brando's courage inspire change, or did it isolate him? Brando's actions sparked conversations that Hollywood had long avoided. His career, marked by iconic performances, became intertwined with his activism. While some applauded his bravery, others criticized him for stepping outside his role as an entertainer. Was Brando's defiance a turning point for Hollywood, or simply a controversial moment in a complex career? 12. Grace Kelly's fairy tale sacrifice. Grace Kelly's life seemed like a dream, but it came with a cost. After marrying Prince Rainier III of Monaco in 1956, she became Princess Grace and left Hollywood behind. At just 26, she retired from acting to fulfill her royal duties. Her decision ended a career at its peak and transformed her life forever. Was this fairy tale worth the price of her freedom? Kelly's transition from Hollywood star to royal icon captivated the world, yet her new role came with restrictions, limiting the independence she once enjoyed. Her legacy, while enduring, raises questions about the sacrifices women often make for love and duty. Did Princess Grace find fulfillment in her new life, or did she long for the stage she left behind? 13. Sidney Poitier's historic triumph. In 1964, Sidney Poitier broke barriers that had stood for generations. Winning the Academy Award for Best Actor for his role in Lilies of the Field, he became the first black actor to achieve this honour. His victory was a milestone in the fight for racial equality in Hollywood. Yet the weight of being a trailblazer came with immense pressure and responsibility. Did this triumph mark the beginning of true change, or was it just a single step forward? Poitier's success inspired countless actors of colour to pursue their dreams. His roles often challenged stereotypes, presenting nuanced, dignified characters. However, his position as a pioneer sometimes isolated him, as he carried the burden of representation. Could Sidney Poitier's impact ever truly be measured, or was it too profound to quantify? 14. Elizabeth Taylor's humanitarian legacy. Elizabeth Taylor was a name synonymous with Hollywood glamour. Known for her violet eyes and dazzling performances, she graced the silver screen in iconic films such as Cleopatra and Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. However, her life extended far beyond the confines of the film industry. Taylor's work as a humanitarian became one of her most enduring legacies. In the 1980s, as the AIDS epidemic devastated communities and remained cloaked in silence, she emerged as one of its most outspoken advocates. In 1985, Taylor co-founded the American Foundation for AIDS Research, AMFAR, dedicating herself to raising awareness and funds. This was a time when even discussing the disease invited fear and prejudice, but Taylor refused to be silent. Her fundraising efforts brought in millions of dollars, directly supporting groundbreaking research and patient care. Her advocacy was not merely financial. She personally comforted those affected, attending to their needs with the kind of compassion rarely seen in public figures of her stature. Taylor's actions were revolutionary, challenging both societal norms and the entertainment industry itself. She leveraged her fame, using her voice to shatter stigmas and demand change. Yet what drove her to take up this fight when others turned away? Some believe her friendships with colleagues lost to AIDS, such as Rock Hudson, inspired her crusade. Regardless of the motivation, her dedication reshaped public perceptions of the disease and cemented her legacy as more than an actress. 15. Paul Newman's lifelong philanthropy. Paul Newman's contributions to cinema are well documented, but his philanthropic efforts reveal an equally compelling side of his character. In 1982, Newman co-founded Newman's Own, a food company with an unusual business model. 100% of its profits would be donated to charity. This decision was as daring as it was generous, marking a new era in celebrity activism. The company, starting with a humble line of salad dressings, grew into a global enterprise. Over the years, it has donated more than $500 million to causes ranging from education to healthcare. Newman's work wasn't driven by a desire for public acclaim. He was known for his humility, often redirecting credit to the team behind the brand. Newman's philanthropic spirit extended beyond his business. He founded the Hole in the Wall Gang Camp, a retreat for children with serious illnesses, where they could experience joy and connection, despite their struggles. His quiet yet profound acts of kindness reflected his belief in giving back. What motivated such an extraordinary commitment to others? Those who knew him often spoke of his empathy and the deep gratitude he felt for his own success. Newman's life challenges us to consider how much we can do for others with the resources we have. 16. Judy Garland's Hollywood ordeal. Judy Garland is remembered for her extraordinary talent, immortalized in roles like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. Yet her life behind the scenes was far from the idyllic world she brought to the screen. The pressures of Hollywood, particularly during its golden age, created a grueling environment for young stars. Garland, recruited as a teenager by MGM Studios, quickly became a victim of its relentless demands. Studio executives controlled every aspect of her life, from her diet to her social interactions. To maintain her image as the wholesome girl next door, she was placed on strict meal plans and provided with pills to suppress her appetite. At the same time, other substances were administered to keep her energized for the demanding schedules. This toxic cycle of manipulation left her battling addiction for the rest of her life. Despite these struggles, Garland continued to deliver breathtaking performances. However, the toll of her experiences became evident in her later years as her health deteriorated and her career faced setbacks. What does Garland's story reveal about the cost of stardom, particularly for women in a male-dominated industry? Her resilience and enduring legacy serve as both a cautionary tale and a testament to her strength. 17. Fred Astaire's pursuit of perfection. Fred Astaire's performances exuded an effortless grace that captivated audiences. Yet achieving such brilliance required an almost inhuman level of discipline. Astaire was a notorious perfectionist, dedicating hours to rehearsals and insisting on countless retakes to refine his routines. His commitment to excellence often tested the endurance of his co-stars, many of whom struggled to keep pace. Astaire's methods, while demanding, produced some of the most iconic moments in cinematic history. His choreography redefined dance on screen, blending artistry with technical precision. However, this drive for perfection raised questions about the line between passion and obsession. Did his relentless pursuit of brilliance enhance his work or overshadow the joy of collaboration? Astaire's legacy as a master of his craft endures, but it came at a cost to those around him. 18. Katharine Hepburn's bold defiance. Katharine Hepburn's name is synonymous with independence and resilience. In an era when Hollywood prescribed rigid roles for women, she stood apart, both in her career choices and personal life. Hepburn frequently defied societal expectations, wearing trousers at a time when such attire was considered scandalous for women. Her refusal to conform became a powerful statement of autonomy. Hepburn's career, spanning decades, was marked by roles that reflected her strong-willed nature. She paved the way for actresses to demand better roles and equal treatment in an industry dominated by men. Yet her boldness often isolated her, earning her the label of being difficult to work with. Did her defiance come at the expense of personal relationships or career opportunities? Hepburn's legacy is one of empowerment, inspiring countless women to challenge the status quo. 19. The tarnished brilliance of Errol Flynn. Errol Flynn, with his daring charm and dashing looks, embodied the golden age of Hollywood's most fearless heroes. Films like The Adventures of Robin Hood immortalized him as a legend, a face that brought audiences into a world of adventure and honor. Yet behind the camera's glow, Flynn's life unraveled in ways that shocked even his most devoted fans. In the early 1940s, his name became synonymous with scandal when he faced a trial for statutory rape, a case that drew headlines across the nation. Though the court ultimately cleared him of guilt, the damage to his image was irreversible. Flynn's personal life mirrored the wild escapades of the characters he played on screen. His lifestyle was one of lavish indulgence, marked by endless parties, reckless decisions, and a pursuit of pleasure that seemed boundless. As whispers of his excess grew louder, his brilliance as an actor became overshadowed by tales of his indiscretions. Was Flynn's fall from grace the result of fame's unrelenting pressure? Or did he embrace the chaos with open arms, welcoming it as a reflection of his own nature? His name now evokes both admiration and infamy, a man as much defined by his talent as by the shadows of his personal choices. Before the dust settled, however, Flynn's story hinted at even darker truths, ones that would make his rise and fall even harder to reconcile. 20. Vivien Leigh's poised fragility. Vivien Leigh captured the world's imagination with her flawless performance as Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind. Her grace, beauty, and ability to command the screen made her an icon of her era. Yet, the world she dazzled never saw the private storms that clouded her life. Leigh battled bipolar disorder, an illness little understood in her time. It shaped her life in ways that both heightened her artistry and eroded her spirit, leaving her to face hospitalizations, strained relationships, and a persistent fight to maintain control in a world that offered her little refuge. Despite her internal battles, Leigh's performances only deepened in complexity. The raw emotion she brought to her roles left audiences spellbound, often unaware of the real pain she endured off-screen. Her struggles were quietly intertwined with her success, forming an invisible barrier that no one dared breach. How did she carry the weight of her illness while dazzling millions? Leigh's resilience became her legacy, a reminder that even the brightest stars can carry unseen darkness. But as the lights dimmed, the question lingered: how much of her brilliance was born from the turmoil she sought to overcome? 21. Spencer Tracy's hidden balances. Spencer Tracy was the epitome of a Hollywood leading man, a figure of strength and authenticity in every role he undertook. Behind the strong facade, however, Tracy's life was a delicate balancing act, riddled with contradictions. Publicly, he was a devoted family man, married to Louise and raising 2 children. Privately, he shared a decades-long relationship with Katharine Hepburn, a love story shrouded in discretion. Amid these complexities, Tracy poured himself into advocacy for the hearing impaired, inspired by the challenges his son faced with deafness. Tracy's ability to navigate the tension between his public and private lives painted a portrait of a man grappling with his own sense of duty. His advocacy work, marked by quiet yet unwavering commitment, raised questions about the motivations behind his efforts. Was it driven by guilt over his divided life, Or did it come from a place of genuine compassion and love? The answers remain elusive, leaving behind a legacy both inspiring and bittersweet. His dual existence became a symbol of the lengths one might go to honour every piece of a complicated life. As time went on, Tracy's story revealed even more layers, drawing attention to sacrifices hidden beneath the surface. 22. Joan Crawford's shattered illusions. Joan Crawford was a name that glimmered with prestige in Hollywood's golden age. Yet beneath the dazzling exterior lay shadows that many never suspected. Adopting 5 children, Crawford cultivated an image of the perfect mother, her radiant smile masking the fractures within her private world. Christina Crawford's memoir, Mommy Dearest, tore through the illusion, revealing a narrative of control, fear, and anguish that painted Joan as an abusive and domineering figure. The chilling accounts of hanger beatings and emotional manipulation shocked the world, leaving audiences divided between disbelief and sorrow. Was Joan's harshness born from the suffocating pressures of stardom or a deeper, more personal battle within her soul? As whispers grew, questions about the price of fame and its ability to warp even the most radiant stars lingered in the air like an unanswered riddle. Joan's story remains a haunting reminder that the brightest lights often cast the darkest shadows. 23. Gene Kelly's unrelenting pursuit. Gene Kelly was the embodiment of brilliance on the silver screen, his fluid movements and radiant charm redefining musical cinema forever. Yet his relentless pursuit of perfection on set came at a steep cost, often pushing his co-stars to their physical and emotional limits. Debbie Reynolds, who danced alongside Kelly in Singin' in the Rain, once compared her experience to an ordeal far more grueling than childbirth. Such was Kelly's commitment to flawless artistry that he demanded every ounce of effort from those around him, no matter the toll. The results were breathtaking, dance numbers that seemed to defy gravity, and moments of cinematic magic that left audiences in awe. But at what price? Was his exacting nature a necessary ingredient for brilliance, or did it alienate the very people who helped build his legacy? Kelly's name remains immortal in Hollywood lore, but the sacrifices behind the scenes paint a more sobering portrait of ambition. 24. Gloria Swanson's unyielding evolution. Gloria Swanson was a phoenix of her era, continually rising from the ashes of an industry that was merciless to those who could not adapt. Her transition from the silent film era to the rise of talkies was nothing short of remarkable, as she seamlessly embraced the new medium while many of her contemporaries faded into obscurity. In Sunset Boulevard, her portrayal of Norma Desmond cemented her as a timeless icon, reflecting not just her acting prowess, but her ability to mirror Hollywood's unforgiving nature. When the roles grew scarce, Swanson reinvented herself again, delving into entrepreneurship and advocating for health and wellness. Was her endless drive to remain relevant a reflection of necessity or an unquenchable fire within her? Swanson's ability to navigate an unforgiving industry serves as a testament to her resilience and creativity, a beacon for those who dare to endure. 25. Gregory Peck's quiet grace. Gregory Peck stood as a figure of unwavering dignity, his presence both on and off the screen radiating a quiet strength. His portrayal of Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird resonated deeply, embodying the virtues of fairness, compassion, and moral courage. Beyond the cameras, Peck's actions spoke even louder as he lent a helping hand to struggling actors and gave generously to charitable causes, all without seeking applause. In an industry often marked by vanity and self-promotion, Peck's humility was an anomaly. Did his acts of kindness stem from a profound understanding of fame's fleeting nature, or was it a reflection of his own grounded upbringing? His legacy reminds us that true greatness lies not just in talent, but in the way one uses their influence to uplift others.